All right. Good morning again, everybody. So we are now recording. So first, some housekeeping matters. Just a reminder, we're gonna have the face-to-face midterm exam on the 31st of October. So that's the Monday after the reading break, right before we go to the usual November 1, November 2 holidays. I don't know which is to be declared a holiday. Hopefully, October 31 will not be declared a holiday. Ano? Sana hindi kasi masasayang yung pagpunta nyo. Pero, but let's see about it. Sana hindi biglaan yung announcement. Pero morning naman tayo ng October 31 yung schedule ng exam. And usually, dati, hina-holiday yung hapon ng October 31, especially if it will fall near the end of the week, ano. Pero hopefully ngayon hindi mangyari 'yon. Pero don't worry, we'll have some contingencies in place kung sakasakaling biglaang magpa-holiday ng October 31 para hindi masayang yung pagpunta ng iba sa inyo sa LB, because I know some of you will be commuting down from your provinces to Los Baños just for the midterm exam. So yeah, don't worry. I have your backs, you know, so para hindi masayang yung pagpunta nyo. But start making the necessary arrangements. Okay, so let me know if you foresee any problem with the commute to LB on October 31, and we'll try to uh, to think of a solution for your problems. Ano? So sabihan niyo ako ng maaga. And I hope by now you started working on or actually synthesizing the things that we had been learning in Math 151. One thing about sa ginagawa natin sa 151, kasi lalo na tong first few parts of the course, or actually the majority of the course, it's a methods course basically. So we're studying how to solve ODEs. And medyo segmented, or medyo merong clear boundaries yung isang topic from the other, especially here in chapter 2. You have seen that topic in section 2.1 is a little bit separated, or medyo hindi ganun ka-related sa topics sa section 2.6 and so on. So parang ganun. I mean, medyo fragmented yung topics. So madali siyang pag-aralan, paisa-isa, ano? Pero when you look at the bigger scheme of things, or the bigger scheme of things, medyo kailangan yung ma-identify ano yung magfo-fall under an exact ODE. Alin yung magfo-fall as an ODE with homogeneous components. Alin yung mga separable. Ano yung mga ano pa ba yung meron tayo? Exact, separable. Ano yung mga linear first order differential equation na madaling hanapan ng integrating factor. So yun yung titingnan namin sa midterm. We'll try to see if we can synthesize all of these things together. So I hope you started looking at the bigger scheme of things. Ano? So sana maging familiar kayo na isang tingin nyo lang sa ODE, or a minute or so of looking at the ODE, you know what method to use. Madali nyo sanang ma-identify. At yun din yung worry ko about our homeworks, kasi hiwa-hiwalay siya. I don't plan to give you a long problem set sa dulo kasi medyo dagdag trabaho siya for you. Probably review homework na lang before the midterms, wherein you'll just need to identify what are the possible methods that you can use for a certain problem. Ano? Because I see you guys are very good in the homeworks, ano? So, ang tataas nyo sa mga homeworks, merong mga konting namamayinusan because of a little algebraic carelessness, or medyo may namaling sign, nakalimutan yung negative sign, or minsan sa form, kasi kapag hindi ganon kaayos yung flow ng presentation ng solution, or bigla na lang may nagpa-pop up na symbol, minaminusan ko. Because ang pagtingin ko sa mga lab exercises o sa mga homeworks, it's like I am a third person. I'm not affiliated with the class. Tas babasahin ko yung solution without any assumption. So pag halimbawa sa solution nyo, naglagay lang kayo ng, okay, may ODE dyan na binigay, tapos nag-ano ka na lang bigla na partial ni M with respect to Y ay equal, halimbawa dito, tapos hindi nyo dinefine ano si M, lalagyan ko yun ng question mark. At malamang may minus na kayo kasi I don't know what M is. So you should treat your homework to be a standalone submission, a standalone document, na pag binasa ko yung homework nyo, maintindihan ko yung flow ng solution. So if an ODE is given, and then sinundan nyo kagad ng dm over dy, or partial ni M with respect to y without defining M is, malulost na ako probably will know kung ano yung M because nasa klase ako, alam ko yung convention natin na MDX plus NDY yung ginagamit natin. So alam ko na si M, siya yung coefficient ni DX. Pero again, I'm treating your homework as if it is a standalone document and I am a third person looking in. So hindi ko i-assume na si M yung DX. So kailangan nyo talagang i-define ano yung mga variables. Hindi yung bigla-bigla na lang sila nagpa-pop up. Ano? Lalo na dun sa exact, dun sa dulo, meron na lang F kayong binigay. F is equal to this guy. Hindi ko alam kung ano si F o ano si capital F dun sa solution nyo. Kung kaklase nyo ako o ako yun, or dahil bilang teacher nyo ako, alam ko kung ano si capital F. Ano yung gusto nyong sabihin with the capital F. This is the function capital F such that the total derivative ODE. Third person looking in, I don't know what is the F you're talking about. Ano? So medyo problematic yun. So try to make your homeworks standalone as possible. Do not assume conventions that are not universal in nature. So kailangan yung mga ganong variables dinidefine nyo. Okay? Tapos yun. Pero other than that, you are doing well in the homeworks. So hindi ko alam, it's either of two things or make that three things. Ano? Number one, masyadong madali yung topics kaya ang tataas nyo sa homework. So kailangan kong step up yung game ko at medyo pahirapan yung mga susunod na homeworks or examples. Ano? Kasi I'm just relying on what is on the slides that were passed down to me that were used from the in the last semesters. Ano? Or number two, magaling lang talaga kayo, grabe. So, you're doing very well. Kayang-kaya niyo yung 151, maning-manis sa inyo. Or probably, which I think is the most probable of all, magaling lang talaga yung teacher nyo. Ano? Hindi, joke lang. So, but kidding aside, yeah. Don't be too complacent if you're doing too well in the homework. Hindi naman sa pananakot, ano, pero yung midterm exam, it's a different beast. Kasi ano siya, hindi namin sasabihan, or malamang hindi namin sasabihan kung ano yung method na gagamitin nyo pag solve ng isang ODE. So part ng evaluation is for you guys to identify what method to use for a certain ODE. Hindi katulad ng mga homeworks na nakatali siya sa isang section na alam nyo, nasa section 2.6 ito, so malamang ang method na gagamitin ko ay galing sa section 2.6. Alright, so siguro 50% or 40% of the work were done for you. Kasi alam nyo na kung ano yung method yung gagamitin nyo. Yun yung wala sa midterm exam. Kaya guys, galingan nyo. Competitive ako, so gusto ko tayong may pinakamataas na average score pagdating ng midterm exam. But anyway, so going back to what we had been doing last time. So tinitingnan natin last time is those ODEs with non-homogeneous components, pero kaya nating isulat na homogeneous of degree 0 after some substitution, right? So basically, we start with an ODE of the form MDX plus NDY equals 0, where M and N are both linear in X and Y. So si M and N are linear in X and Y. So pag nakakita kayo ng ODE na si M at saka si N ay parehas linear functions in the variable X and Y, tapos hindi siya exact, hindi siya homogeneous, so pwede nyo itry itong method sa section 2.6. So pero ang dinidiscuss lang natin dito ay yung cases na si M at saka si N ay parehong linear in the variable X and Y. So what I mean linear, ibig sabihin si M ang itsura niya ay B1X plus B2Y plus some B3. Tapos ang itsura ni N ay A1X plus A2Y plus A3. Ito yung ibig sabihin natin na linear in the variable X and Y, where here A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3 are all constants. Alright? Essentially, ang ginagawa lang natin dito kapag si M and N ay parehas linear in X and Y, tapos hindi to exact, hindi siya homogeneous, hindi siya separable. So what you can do is to try to write it first as dy over dx equals what? Pag dy over dx, ito ay magiging equal kay negative m over n. Tama ba? Negative m over n. Tapos, if both m and n are linear in the variables x and y, probably, okay, most probably, we can write it in terms of a1x plus a2x plus a3 all over b1x plus b2y. So y, sorry, y yung sa taas plus b3, right? So we can think of it as a function of a ratio of two linear functions, a1x plus a2y plus a3 and b1x plus b2y plus b3, right? And we learned that we can write it in we can write it as a homogeneous. We can transform the right hand side as a homogeneous function if and only if we can find constants x0 and y0 such that mawawala yung a3 at saka b3 na constant. So remember, our goal here is to transform this into a1, not a1, but say x bar. A1 pa rin ba yun? Lagi bang A1? I'm not sure if laging A1, pero just to be safe, gawin ko siyang alpha x bar plus alpha 2 y bar all over b1, beta 1. Inisip ko kung nagbabago yung constant. Parang hindi nagbabago yung constant, no? Plus beta 2 y bar. Pero sulat ko na lang siya ng ganito para short, right? So pinapalitan natin si x by x bar plus x of 0 and y equals y bar plus ba or minus? Yeah, it should be plus. Y sub 0 such that yung a1 x sub 0 plus a2 y sub 0 plus a3 will be equal to 0 and b1 x0 plus b2 y0 plus b3 ay equal kay 0. Hinahanap po yung constants x sub 0, y sub 0 na yon such that para i-add ko siya kay x at saka kay y, para yung bago kong variable, mawawala na yung constants na a3 at saka b3. Because if I do that, pwede ko nang i-factor si x bar mula dun sa nasa loob ni function. So ito ay magiging 1 over, pwede ko i-factor si x bar. I'll have alpha 1 plus alpha 2 y bar over x bar all over x bar times beta 1 plus beta 2 y bar over x bar. Okay? Tapos ma-cancel yung x bar. So si f ay function na lamang ng alpha 1 plus alpha 2 y bar over x bar over beta 1 plus beta 2 y bar over x bar. So it can be interpreted as a function solely of y bar over x bar. Na kapag ka nakakita tayo ng variable dun sa right-hand side ng ODE natin, laging magka-combo yung y bar over x bar. Wala nang ibang variable na kasama. And we have a theorem from the section on ODEs with homogeneous components that your function is homogeneous of order 0 if and only if it is a function of y bar over x bar alone. So itong right-hand side nito, ito ay homogeneous na ngayon of order 0. And since it's now homogeneous of order 0, you can use the substitution y bar equals x bar b, right? Tapos you proceed into simplifying the ODE and it will become separable eventually, okay? So parang babalik kayo dun sa section na homogeneous of a certain degree, okay? Now, I think we have an example of this and we stopped here last time. Eto na, after all of those substitutions, ano na lang to, exercise on integration, ano? So siguro mabilisan i-solve natin to para lang makompleto yung discussion. So I'll have dx bar over x bar equals, let's simplify this. So this would be dv all over negative 4 minus v squared minus 2 plus v over 4 plus v. Tama bang expansion ko? Negative 4v, mali kagad. Minus 4v minus v squared, minus 2 plus v all over 4 plus v, okay? And then I'll have this dx bar over x bar is equal to 4 plus v all over, I'll get negative v squared, tapos negative 3v, tama ba? Negative 3v minus 2. dv. Okay? So please watch my solution. So sabihan nyo lang ako kapag may problema. And then the right-hand side simplifies to, hindi ako sanay mag-factor na negative yung quadratic term. So i-factor ko yung, ilabas ko yung negative. So we'll have v plus 4 all over v squared plus 3v plus 2 dv. And this is what I'll integrate. Okay? So we'll have ln of the absolute value of x bar equals this integral, pero this would be negative, magpa-partial fraction decomposition ako because the denominator can be factored out as v plus 2 times v plus 1. All right? So ibig sabihin, kakaroon ako ng constant over v plus 1 plus constant over v plus 2 all the times dv. Tapos ito yung i-integrate ko. Right? Dahil madali lang, constants lang naman yung mga numerator at madaling i-integrate yung constant times 1 over v plus 1 plus constant over v plus 2. Pwede ko na itong i-integrate muna at this point para lang hindi ko muna gagawin yung algebra. So we can have it as ln of the absolute value of x bar. This would be equal to negative a ln of the absolute value of v plus 1, minus b ln of the absolute value of v plus 2 plus an arbitrary constant c, where a and b are constants to be determined. Okay? So sa next page ko na gagawin yung determination ng constants a and b. Okay? So here I'll write kailangan ko yung kodigo. Right? So where, kasunod to ng solution, where a and b are not arbitrary constants like c, a and b are fixed constants, all right? What are these constants? These are the constants such that v plus 4 over v plus 1 times v plus 2 ay equal kay a over v plus 1 plus b over v plus 2. So usually, pag madali siyang i-integrate, nang hindi kailangang i-solve si a and b, especially if wala ditong x. Pag may x dyan or pag may v dyan, yun yung mahirap i-integrate kasi nakadepende dun sa value ni a and b, yung kadalian ng pag-i-integrate ng fraction. Pero dahil constant over linear, madali siyang i-integrate, pwede ko nang isulat kagad ito without knowing what a and b are. Para kung ang nalimutan nyo lang gawin ay pag-solve ng a and b sa partial fraction, you will get a lot of partial credits for doing this. Right? Kahit hindi nyo ma-solve si a and b. Kasi yung computation naman ni a and b is purely algebraic. It's not basically the focus of this course. Ano? So pag na-integrate nyo yan, you'll get a lot of points even if you don't get the values of a and b. Or kung wala kayong time na i-solve si a and b, pwede nyo na siyang i-skip. Sabihin nyo na muna, ito yung solution nyo. Tapos later, balikan nyo na lang siya kasi medyo mahabang algebra yung pagko-compute ng a and b. Alright? Kasi mas malaking points naman yung makukuha nyo rito kesa dun sa pagko-compute ni a and b. Kasi yung computations ni a and b nga, purely algebraic naman yung process. Okay? But if you have time, well, yeah, let's solve for a and b. So this means that v plus 4 must be equal to, so I'll multiply both sides by v plus 1 times v plus 2. So I'll have a times v plus 2 plus b times v plus 1, right? And this is true for all v's, right? So that means if v is equal to negative 2, so pipili ako ng mag-annihilate ng mga factors na to. So I can select any value of v that I want, pero the usual choices for v's would be those that can annihilate one of the terms in the right-hand side. Because if I choose v equals negative 2, magiging negative 2 to, the first term vanishes, so wala na yung unknown a. Matitira na lang si b, tas ito magiging constant, so we can solve for b instantly. All right? So if b is negative 2, the left-hand side of this equation that we have will be 2. The first term, the one involving will vanish. Tapos matitira ay negative 2 plus 1, so we'll have negative b. Tama ba? So that means b is equal to negative 2. And then if v equals -1, we'll have the the left side -1 plus 4. So we're going to have 3 equals a times -1 plus 2. So it's going to be a. Tapos mag-vanish na tong second term kasi ang v ay -1. So we get a equals 3. So therefore, our solution is ln of x bar is equal to -3 ln of the absolute value of v plus 1 plus 2 ln of absolute value of v plus 2 plus c, right? Kasi ito ay minus b, pero minus b is equal to 2, so we'll have a plus 2 here, okay? And then we're almost there, right? So it's just for us to go back to the substitution. Ibalik siya sa original variable x and y. So let me just scroll through the previous slides. Kasi I have the memory of a goldfish. So hindi ko natanda yung mga variables na ginamit natin. So pakitandaan ang v ay y bar over x bar. That should be there. Tapos, okay, ito yung substitution natin. Copy ko lang siya, and then I'll go back here. Oops, there we go. Okay, so I'll have ln of the absolute value of x minus 1 equals, you can be fancy about it, you can write it as ln ng absolute value ng v plus 1, pero ang v ay y bar over x bar plus 1 supposedly. Pero we know that y bar is y minus 2 all over x bar. X bar is x minus 1. Tapos may plus 1 dyan. Tapos raised to the -3. Okay. Siya yung nasa loob ng ln plus ln of the absolute value of y minus 2 over x minus 1 plus 2 raised to the second power plus the arbitrary constant c. And then you can play around the laws of logarithm to write it in a single form, right? Or in a single term. Or you can just stop here. So that's also fine with me. Okay. So any questions? Clear naman? At least na-review tayo ng partial fraction decomposition. Now, the next question I have in mind is, do you want to do a homework about this? Or next topic na lang? So kayo yung pinapapili ko ng homework, ano? Let me think about it. I think we have a bunch of homework problems here. Do you want to do a homework on this, or gusto niyo muna makita yung susunod na mga topics? Tapos pipiliin niyo naman kung ano yung mas madali, no? Okay. But one thing here is that medyo nakatali yung pagsasolve nitong ODE na to dun sa pagkakaroon ng solution noong system of equation. Remember, this is our goal, right? To find the goal is to find, the goal is to find x0 and y sub 0 such that ang a1 x sub 0 plus a2 y sub 0 plus a3 is equal to 0 and b1 x sub 0 plus b2 y sub 0 plus b3 is equal to 0. All right? Kapag meron kayo makukuha ang solution dito sa system na to for x sub 0 and y sub 0, then you're good. You can transform the given ODE or the right-hand side of your ODE into a homogeneous function of degree 0. Okay? So that's fine. Kaya lang, hindi na alam naman natin na ang mga linear systems hindi pa laging may solution or hindi sila laging may unique solution. So there are several cases. So nakuha na natin yung case wherein there is a unique solution to the linear equation. So yun yung diniscuss natin since last meeting. Pero meron pang dalawang natitirang cases. The first of which is when there are infinitely many solutions. Okay? And kailan ba nagkakaroon ng infinitely many solutions ang isang linear system? If you remember your linear algebra or your high school system of equations, kailan nagkakaroon ng solution itong system 1 and system consisting of equations 1 and equation 2? Kailan nagkakaroon ng infinitely many solutions? Kasi napakita na natin yung mangyayari kapag meron tayong unique solution x sub 0 at saka y sub 0. Pero natatandaan niyo ba kailan nagkakaroon ng infinitely many solutions? Kasi isa rin siyang posibilidad, ano? Na yung system consisting of equations 1 and 2 ay magkaroon ng napakaraming solutions. I mean, more than one solution. Do you remember kailan siya nangyayari? Ano yung itsura ni equation 1 with respect to equation 2? Kaya ka nagkakaroon ng infinitely many solutions. Yeah, thank you, Kiefer. That's correct. Kapag same yung graph nila, ano? Pero ano bang meron tayo? Ito naman ay linear function lang. Ito ay linear function, so ang graphs nila ay parehas, line lang. So ibig sabihin, tama rin si Billy na kapag overlapping yung graphs. Pag ginraph niya si equation 1, ito halimbawa yung graph niya, tapos ginraph mo rin si equation 2, ito rin yung mangyayari. So essentially, equation 1 and equation 2 basically represents the same line. Kapag isang line lamang yung nire-represent ni equation 1 at ni equation 2, there would be infinitely many solutions because there would be infinitely many intersection because you have only one line represented by the two equations. All right? Tapos analytically, kailan nangyayari yun? And Kiefer is right. Tama. So nag-overlap yung graph kapag multiple ng isang equation yung isang equation. That's right. So ibig sabihin, equation 1 is just a scalar multiple ng equation 2. So essentially, parang yung left-hand side ng equation 1 is equal to a constant, let's call the constant gamma, times the left-hand side of equation 2. Kakaproblema ba tayo kapag ganyan yung scenario? Kapag si equation 1 ay gamma times the left-hand side of equation 2. Actually, I don't think we'll have any problem there because what we'll have is dy over dx equals a function f. Remember, we have a1 x plus a2y plus a3 plus b1x plus b2y plus b3. This is our assumption. We're assuming that our left-hand side is a function of a1x plus a2y plus a3 over b1x plus b2y plus b3. Medyo delayed yata yung aking screen. How about you guys? Nag-freeze na ba siya dun sa LHS of 1 equals gamma LHS of 2? Okay naman sa inyo. Okay, so siguro sa monitor ko lang. Okay, kapag infinitely many solution, ibig sabihin, ito ay multiple lamang ng nasa ilalim or vice versa. Alright? So, ibig sabihin, pwede ko itong isulat na f of a1, I can write it as gamma times b1x plus b2y plus b3 all over b1x plus b2y plus b3, right? Kasi nga, nag-overlap yung graph nila. Sabi ni Kiefer, multiple ng isang equation yung isa. So, ibig sabihin, itong left-hand side ng equation 1 ay pwede kong isulat as gamma times the left-hand side of equation number 2. Kaya lang, oops, ito, maka-cancel noon. So, essentially, we'll have f of gamma. But gamma is a constant, so essentially, ang meron lang pala tayo ay dy over dx equals a constant. Wala nang natitirang variable dun sa right-hand side. So kung naging constant na siya, whatever this constant is, magiging ganito na lang yung equation. dy equals f of gamma, which is a constant because gamma is a constant, times dx. Tapos i-integrate ko na lang yan. I'll get the general solution y equals f of gamma times x plus c. Ito yung makuha kong solution kapag meron kang infinitely many solutions doon sa linear system na meron tayo. So we have seen here that if there are infinitely many solutions, then no problem. It is an easy equation to solve. Kasi yung right-hand side, kaya mong i-simplify to a constant. All right? Now, ano pa yung isang case na hindi natin nakikita? So nakita na natin yung case na merong unique solution, yung linear equation. Next, we know what will happen if there are infinitely many solutions. That means one equation is a multiple of the other, and everything will boil down to a constant, right? Tapos kapag constant yung f, ang dali niyang isolve kasi separable na siya. So our solution is y equals that constant na simplified version ni f times x plus c. All right? Now, ano yung third case? Nakulang na lang dun sa ating theory. Para maiwan na natin itong section which is involving functions of quotients of linear expressions. Thank you, JR Jan Rafael. Tama. Yung natitirang case ay kapag walang solution yung dalawang equation. Okay? So kailan ba walang solution yung linear system na to? Kailan to walang solution? Okay, while you're thinking about that, let me just clear my screen a little bit. Okay. Yes, Justin and Jan Rafael are right. Walang solution kapag parallel yung lines. Though be careful, be more particular when talking about parallelism. Kasi some will say na kapag equal ang dalawang lines, then parallel sila, right? Kasi ang tanging condition lang para maging parallel ay equal yung slopes. So ibig sabihin, we are allowing a line to be parallel with itself. Kasi parehas sila ng slope, right? Pero dito ay pwede nating sabihin na they are lines that do not intersect. Parehas yung slope. So ang itsura ng graph ni equation 1 at equation 2 ay ganito. Parehas sila ng slope, pero hindi sila nag-intersect. Alright? Yeah, pero tama yung idea ni Jan Rafael and Justin. Kaya lang ko lang i-quantify ng konti. Kasi yung considered ang isang line to be parallel with itself. So, ibig sabihin, covered pa rin yung case na meron kang infinitely many solution. Pero ang gusto natin ay walang solution. So, therefore, dapat parallel yung dalawang lines, pero magkaiba sila ng what? X or Y intercept. Dapat magkaiba sila ng X intercept. Yeah, either magkaiba sila ng x-intercept or ng y-intercept. Parehas yata ay mag-work. So essentially, if that is the case, parehas yung slope, pero magkaiba lang sila ng intercept, so probably you can write the linear system in this form. A1 x sub 0 plus A2 y sub 0 plus A3 equals 0 and A1 x sub 0 plus A2 y sub 0 plus A4 equals 0, where A3 is not equal to A4. Ito yung nagiging kaso kapag wala kang solution. Right? Kapag parehas ng slope yung line mo, pero magkaiba sila ng intercept. So if you write it in standard form ng line, makikita mo na yung slope nito ay anong slope nito? Ang slope nito ay A1 over A2. Ang slope nito ay A1 over A2 rin, or the negative of that, negative A1 over A2. Ang slope nito ay negative A1 over A2 rin. So parallel sila, pero magkaiba sila ng intercept because I don't allow A3 to be equal to A4. So ito yung walang solution. And another way to analytically see that there are no solutions to this equation ay pag nag-elimination tayo. I can subtract one equation from the other. I will have A3 minus A4 equal to 0 supposedly. Pero I know that A3 is not equal to A4, so this will be a contradiction. So kitang-kita nyo kagad na walang solution itong system na to. So if this system doesn't have any solution, or actually this system doesn't have a solution by design, So hindi nyo pwedeng gamitin yung natutunan natin sa dito sa section 2.6 to solve an ODE of that form. Okay? Pero actually, merong isang paraan paano siya magawa. And that's what we'll do in section 2.7, right? So let me just shift slides here. Okay, ang title nung section ay ODEs with solving ODEs with substitution suggested by the equation. Medyo ambiguous yung title ng section. If I was to name the chapters or the sections here in this course, etong section 2.7 ilalagay ko na lang under section 2.6. All right. Tapos 3 cases na lamang doon. Pero anyway, kasi medyo generic kasi yung yung title. When I was browsing the topics for 151, akala ko kakaiba yung nasa section 2.7. Pero yun lang yung gusto niyang sabihin, ano? So paano isosolve kapag meron kang isang right-hand side na function ng isang linear function over another function, pero walang solution yung corresponding system. Okay? So halimbawa, as a quick example, this guy, x plus y minus 1 dx plus 2x plus 2y plus 1 dy equals 0. Essentially, we can reduce this to dy over dx equals what? Equals negative of x plus y minus 1 all over 2x plus 2y plus 1. All right? Tapos, ito at saka ito ay parehas yung slope, right? Their slopes are both equal to negative 1. So, slope nito ay negative 1, slope nito ay negative 1, pero yung intercept nito ay negative 1, ang intercept nito ay positive 1. Or actually, magiging what? Magiging 1/2 pala yung intercept nitong kabila. So, this equation, the equation x sub 0 plus y sub 0 minus 1 equals 0, and 2x sub 0 plus 2y sub 0 plus 1 equals 0 will not have a solution. Okay? Kasi nga pwede yung geometric argument nyo kanina na ito ay dalawang distinct parallel lines. All right? Or you can, if you are more analytic in nature, pwede mo itong i-try solve. Pero pag sinolve mo yan, i-multiply mo yung first equation by negative 2, and then you will add the two equations together, you will have 2 plus 1 equals 0, which is a contradiction, right? Kasi 2 plus 1 ay equal kay 3. So it is impossible to get a solution. So hindi mag-work yung ginamit natin na method doon sa section 2.6, right? Pero meron paraan para madaling ma-solve itong equation na yan. Oops, sorry. Dapat hindi ko pala binura yung buo. Ito lang yung binura ko dapat. Oops, sorry. Now, I can do a quick substitution here, right? Ang gagawin kong substitution ay, pwede kong palitan itong buong numerator by a variable. Right? So that the denominator will be, kasi nagbago lang naman sila ng nagbago lang yung intercept. So it would be a multiple of the first plus a constant. So essentially what I'm saying is that if you think about it, the right-hand side can be written as negative x plus y minus 1 all over 2 times x plus y minus 1. Tapos, so check nga natin, I'll have 2x plus 2y minus 2. So far, meron akong minus 2. Pero I want to end up with a plus 1. So kailangan ako mag-plus 3 rito. Tama ba? Alright? So I just wrote it in terms of x plus y minus 1 in preparation for a substitution. Ngayon, ang papalitan ko by a variable, itong nasa taas. So ito magiging u. And then hopefully now it would be easier to solve. Ano nga bang kakalabasan nito? Separable nga ba or what? I forgot exactly what will happen, but that's what the substitution would be, right? So hopefully madali na siyang i-solve after that. Okay, so let's try that approach. So yeah, Marami siyang sinabi. Okay. Okay, so kung yun yung plano ko. Oops, what happened? So ito yung plano kong gawin, no? What I'll do is, I will let u to be equal to x plus y minus 1. Kasi nga ang idea ko magiging u over 2u plus 3 na lang to, and I'm hoping that that equation is easy to solve. Right? Yun yung pangarap ko, ano, na madali siyang isolve. But let's see if that can easily be done. So if I change, or if I perform a change in a variable involving the dependent variable, I also need to change the differential, right? So ibig sabihin, if I will let u to be equal to x plus y minus 1, I also need to change the differential, right? So kailangan yung du ay magkakaroon lamang ako ng du if I have a dx plus dy. Or in other words, you can play around it, and then we'll have what? Okay, so let's see. So let's perform this substitution. So essentially, magkakaroon ako ng dy equals, ano kaya yung ititira ko? So essentially, I'll have minus x plus y minus 1 all over 2 times x plus y minus 1 plus 3 times dx. Tapos dito, we'll have dy. Pwede ko yatang i-retain yung y. Inisip ko kung ano yung mangyayari. Ay equal kay negative u over 2u plus 3. And then I'll have a du minus dy. Parang hindi mag-work. Hold on. Inisip ko kung ano yung tamang gawin dito. Okay. Or dapat hindi ko siya pinaghiwalay kagad. Hold on. Ano kaya yung mas madali? U, 2u plus 3. Mas madali sana kung dito na ako nag-work, ano? But I think I can work this out. I'll just have what? Pwede ko siyang i-expand. Talagang papangatawan na ko yung ginawa ko yan. Tignan natin. So, I can write it as dy. So, meron ako... Nawala ba yung screen ko? Hold on. Nawala yung pointer ko. Let me restart my screen share. Okay, can you guys see my screen? Hindi ko siya makita sa aking laptop. Wala pa. All right, let me restart sharing. All right, I think my screen is back. Okay, inisip ko kung ano yung solution. Kasi ngayon, ang itsura nito, mas madali na siyang i-solve, ano? I mean, mas simple na yung itsura niya. Meron na lang akong linear. Tapos, what? Maging linear na nga ba siya? Actually, hindi pa, no? Magiging separable nga ba to? Let's see. Inisip ko kung kaya siya maging separable. Yeah, because this would be, parang napahirap yung ginawa kong substitution, ano? Mas madali yatang from here, I perform the substitution that this would be u times dx would be du minus dy plus that guy, you know. So let me see if I can salvage this solution. You know? So I can expand the right-hand side and then transfer whatever I have to the left na may dy. So magkakaroon ako ng 1 plus, or actually minus, u over 2u plus 3 dy equals negative u over 2u plus 3 du. Tama ba? Parang mas mapapahirap ako dito sa simplification nito. Yeah. Sige na, bababaan ko na yung pride ko. Ulitin ko na yung solution. Kasi natakot ako mag-simplify ng fraction dito, ano? Let me see if the other solution is easier. Yan yung problema pag live nagsasolve, ano? Pwede kang ma-stop, makalimutan mo yung gagawin. Pero, yeah. Okay, so I'll perform the same substitution. I'm gonna let u be equal to x plus y minus 1, but I'll work with this given expression na lang muna, okay? And hopefully this is easier than what I'm trying to do earlier. Though if you're patient enough, which I am not, kaya nyo rin siyang gawin mula dun sa ginawa ko kanina, right? Essentially here, what I'll have is I'll get a u times, I have the option to retain dx or the dy, but I will usually retain the dy kasi gusto ko magkaroon ng explicit expression for y. So I will not change the dy, I'll just change the dx into du minus dy. So I'll end up with a variable u and a variable y in this new differential equation. So this guy will be turned to u, and then dx, according to our substitution statement here of the differential, will be du minus dy. Du minus dy. And then plus, we know that this is 2y plus 3. 2u plus 3 times dy equals 0. Okay. And then we'll have u du minus u dy plus 2u plus 3 dy equals 0. And then, pwede kong pagsamahin yung may mga dy. So I have a 2u plus 3 minus u. So we will have here a u plus 3 dy. Tapos meron ako dito u du. So umpisa, equal kay 0. Tama ba? Mas madali pala na dito na tayo mag-start. Hindi dun sa naka-differential form siya or naka-standard form. Okay? And then here, I guess it's easy to see that it is separable because now we can have, gawin ko lang step by step, ano? Minus u plus 3 dy equals negative u du. Hindi ko kasi kaya na i-mental ito mga maliliit na bagay na to. So I write everything down. So and then there, I can divide both sides by u plus 3 to get dy equals u over u plus 3 du. Okay. And then all we need to do now is to integrate both sides, right? So ito na lang yung kailangan natin gawin. Integrate. So this would be y equals the integral of u over u plus 3 du. Okay. Kaya lang, paano natin to paano natin siya i-integrate? You can do a u substitution or you can divide you can do long division. So either will work. Pero siguro gawin ko na yung sige na, long division na lang yung gawin ko para hindi na ako mag-i-introduce ng isa pang variable. Saka para review na rin ng long division, ano? It might be a while since you did this. So u divided by u plus 3, napaka-elementary nung ginagawa ko, no? 1, tapos u plus 3, tapos nagkakaroon ako ng negative 3 here. So essentially, this is integral of 1 minus 3 over u plus 3 du. But of course, you could have chosen to use u substitution. Kaya lang ayoko mag-introduce ng super daming variables. So kaya naman siyang i-long division. So i-long division ko na lamang siya. And now I can just integrate here. So we'll have y equals u minus 3 ln of the absolute value of u plus 3 plus an arbitrary constant c. And then I'll revert to the original variable. Remember, u is equal to what? U is equal to x plus y minus 1. So this is x plus y minus 1 minus 3 ln of the quantity x plus y minus 1 plus 3 plus the arbitrary constant c. Tuloy ko na lang siya dito. Equals what? Yung y dito, ma-cancel ng y dito. So this would be 0 equals x minus 1 minus 3 ln of the absolute value of x plus y plus 2 plus the arbitrary constant c. And you can stop there. Or kung gusto niyo magpasikat, pwede namang ituloy niyo yung solution and simplify this a little bit more. Okay? So did you get the idea? Ano yung gagawin kapag walang solution? Parang mas madali pa yung walang solution yung yung linear system. Kasi you'll just need to replace one of them kasi lagi lang siyang magiging multiple nung meron kang dalawang expressions, multiple nung isa yung magiging multiple nung isa plus a constant yung kabila, right? And then that will give you a separable differential equation much faster than what we could have what we would have gotten if may solution yung linear system. Okay? Kaya siguro tama yung option nyo kanina na wag muna magpa-homework dun sa kabila kasi di hamak na mas mahaba yung solution kapag merong solution yung linear system kesa dito sa walang solution yung linear system. Okay? So I think we can do one more example. Okay. Tapos makikita nyo na madali lang talagang i-spot kung kailan mag-work itong substitution method na to. Kasi kaya pala ang tawag sa kanya substitution as suggested by the equation. Because if you look at the equation, okay, so this coefficients, all right, they look similar, all right, except that one ay multiple nung isa plus a constant. All right? Because this guy, when you simplify this, this will be 12x plus 4y minus 8. And the other guy will be 3x plus y. Okay? And then you will see the yung mga may variables ay scalar multiple ng isa't isa, kaya lang meron ka ditong minus 8. So walang solution yung equation na 3x sub 0 plus y sub 0 minus 2 equals 0 and 3x sub 0 plus y sub 0 equals 0. Wala yung solution kasi nga, or actually may 4 pa pala dito, no? Kasi you will get a contradiction once you try solving this via elimination. Okay? Tapos syempre, no solution, mas masaya tayo dito ng konti kasi hindi natin kailangan yung mahabang ginagawa sa section 2.6. Mas madali yung substitution. Ano nangyayari dito sa section 2.7, ano? So, can I hear some suggestions? Ano yung substitution na gagawin ko rito? Oops. Kailangan pala bumalik sa... So, what would be my variable u? Any suggestions? Okay, Renzi suggests we do u equals 3x plus y. And Kiefer as well. Yeah, that's perfect. That's a good suggestion. Pero sir, halimbawa, I want to make pasikat. Daw. So, gusto kong gawing u ay ito. Okay lang ba na yan yung gawin kong u? I think so. Mag-work pa rin kung ito yung gagamitin yung u. Yung 4 times 3x plus y minus 2. Because essentially, this will be another constant, another scalar multiple of u plus a constant. Okay? So it's just a matter of choosing which substitution would be much easier. And I guess here, the much easier substitution would be 3x plus y equals u. But again, nothing is stopping you from letting u to be equal to 4 times 3x plus y minus 2. Medyo kailangan nyo lang i-work out yung algebra, ano yung magiging itsura ni 3x plus y with respect to u. But essentially, you will get alpha u plus a constant beta. All right? So kapag ito yung ginawa yung u, ito mapapalitan ng a times u or alpha times u plus beta, where alpha and beta are just some constants that you need to determine algebraically. All right? Pero tama yung suggestion ni Renzi at saka ni Kiefer, mukhang mas madali kung i-let you ko na lamang ay 3x plus y. Okay? But again, we are changing the variable, and that change in the variable involves the dependent variable. So we also need to change the differential. So kailangan kong i-compute si du. Du will be equal to 3dx plus dy. Okay? And then I'll use it later. And then usually I suggest you keep dy or you keep the variable y. So si dx yung papalitan ko in this particular case. Kasi gusto kong magkaroon ng i-try na magkaroon ng explicit representation para kay y. So mas madali na may y ka na kasi in-anticipate natin magiging separable ito para yung isang side magiging dy lamang equals a function of u. We integrate both sides, we get an instant expression in terms of the variable y. Okay? Now, let's carry out this substitution. So we'll have 4 times, remember 3x plus y will be replaced by u. So we'll have u minus 2, okay, times dx. But remember, I'm planning on retaining dy. Okay, so dx will be, napaisip ako, gusto ko ba talagang itira si dy? Kasi pwede namang i-dx ko to, kasi ito yung gagawin kong du. Okay lang din naman yon para hindi ako magpo-FOIL method. Actually, yes. Kasi binomial lang to. Hindi ko kailangan mag-FOIL method. Pero sige na nga, papangatawanan ko na mag-retain ako ng dy. Pero pwede rin dx yung i-retain. It doesn't matter. Essentially, we'll get the same solution or equivalent representations later on. So it's up to you to choose, but let me stick to my word. I'll use dx here. Dx is equal to what? Dx is equal to du minus dy all over 3. Okay? Mula dito. So ang dx ay du minus dy divided by 3. That's right. Minus 3x plus y is simply u. Then I retain dy equals 0. Okay? So what I'll have here is, expand ko lang, I'll have 4 thirds u du. Tapos, magkakaroon ako ng negative 4 thirds u dy. Tama ba? Yes, 4u. Tapos, magka-minus dy. Tapos, I'll have negative 2 thirds minus 8 thirds du plus 8 thirds dy minus u dy equals 0. Tama ba? Pa-double check nga ng expansion ko. Kaya ayoko na nagpo-FOIL method eh. At pala talagang dx na yung tinira ko, no? Sige, 4u du over 3 minus 4u dy over 3 minus 8 du over 3 plus 8 dy over 3. Okay, good. Thank you. Tapos, simplify. Pag samasamahin, yung may mga du. So, we'll have 4 thirds u. Tapos, minus 8 thirds. Ito yung may du. Tapos, yung may mga dy naman ay negative 4 thirds u plus 8 thirds minus u dy equals 0. Okay. And then let me see if I can simplify this. Well, ayoko mag-work with fractions, so siguro i-multiply ko muna both sides by my both sides of my equation by 3 just to get rid of the denominators, because I guess most people like me are allergic with fractions. So multiply muna ako ng 3 both sides. So I'll have 4u minus 8 du plus, here I'll have negative 4u plus 8 minus 3u dy equals 0. Okay. Tapos next page na ako. Uy, cool. Pwede ko na ba itong gawing math? Tingnan ko nga. Ay, sorry. 579 pesos para i-convert siya sa equation na naka-type written. I don't need type written things. So, pwede namang handwritten. So, yeah. Okay. Oops, hindi pa yung pinapi ko. Hold on. Balik ako dun sa kabila. Tapos paste ko siya dito. Okay, so this is our equation. And then at this point, makikita na natin na siya ay separable talaga. Pero let's simplify first. 4u minus 8 du plus, this would be negative 7u plus 8 dy. Tama ba? Hindi familiar yung numbers. Hindi ko kasi ito sinolve kagabi. So kaya hindi familiar yung numbers. But hopefully I'm doing it right. Just let me know if I committed a mistake somewhere. Pero essentially here, we will have dy equals negative of 4u minus 8 divided by negative 7u plus 8 du. Right? And then, pwede ko itong gawing dy equals tama ba? Tapos, mag-i-integrate na lang ako both sides. Okay? And then this would be y equals the integral of 4u minus 8 over 7u plus 8 du, whatever that integral is. Again, you can do what? You can do use substitution. But again, I don't want to introduce additional variables here. Mukhang pwede uli akong mag-long division. So long division na lang yung gagawin ko. On the side, I will solve for the quotient of 4u minus 8 divided by 7u plus 8. 7u minus 8 dapat. Yeah, thank you. It should be 7u minus 8. 7u minus 8. Kasi nga pala nag-negative ako, no? Negative, positive, negative. All right. So this would be minus u. So here, fractions na naman. I hate fractions. So, 4 so I'll have 4 over 7. So kung meron akong 4 over 7, so ito ay magiging 4u minus 32 over 7. So ang remainder ko ay 8 plus 32 over 7. So that's gonna be, scratch paper, negative 8 plus, that would be negative 56 plus 32 over 7. Tama ba? So it's gonna be what? 24 over 7? Mga magaling sa arithmetic dyan. So tama ba? Ito ay integral ng 4 over 7 plus, minus. Kasi mas malaki yung 8 kesa sa 32 over 7. So it's gonna be minus 24 over 7 times 7u minus 8 du. All right, a double check before I proceed. Tama ba yung long division ko sana? All right. Okay, then I can integrate now. Pero siguro mag-multiply muna ako ng 7 both sides para mawala yung pampagulo sa denominator. Sort of, ilipat ko muna siya kasama nung y. So I'll have 7y equals the integral ng 4 na lang. So integral ng 4 du ay 4u. Tapos minus 24. Tapos magkakaroon ako ng ln, 24 over 7 ln ng absolute value ng 7u minus 8 plus arbitrary constant c. Kasi rito, dun sa integral na to, magle-let v ako na 7u minus 8. So equals 7 du. So ibig sabihin ng du ay dv over 7. Kaya kahit nag-multiply na ako ng 7 both sides, so supposedly 24 na lang yung matitira. Pero pag in-integrate ko yung 24 over 7u minus 8, magkakaroon pa rin ako ng 7 sa denominator. Kaya may extra 7 dun sa denominator. Okay? So, yeah, and then all that's left is to go back to the original variable. So we'll have y equals, balik ko na yung 7 para maging kaya ko bang explicit yung form? para implicit yung form. Or actually, pwede ko nang itira na lang yung 7 dito. It's just a matter of representation. Then I'll have ui 3x plus y. ui 3x plus y. Okay. Rensis, 7 na lang kasi nandito yung 7. Remember, tinanggal ko muna yung denominator dito by multiplying both sides by 7. So, essentially, pag divide mo uli by 7, magiging 49 na siya kagad. So, kasi ayoko lang ng may nakikitang fractions. Pero, essentially, inevitable pala na magkaroon ng fractions dito. Ano? But essentially, I'll just go back to the original variable x and y. So, I'll have 4 times 3x plus y. Yeah, it's okay, Rensis. Yeah, minsan talaga preference eh. No? Ayoko nakakita ng mga fractions. Kaya as much as possible, tinatry ko mawala yung mga fractions. Pero sometimes, katulad dito, hindi pala talaga maiiwasan yung fractions. Ano? Minus 24 over 7 ln ng absolute value ng 7 times 3x plus y minus 8 plus arbitrary constant c. And if you don't want to risk the points, so pwede nyo nang iwan dito. That's fine with me. All right. Lalo na kung wala naman sinabi na required na explicit form. Lalo na kung ang request lang naman ay sana masulat in explicit form. Pero baka hindi naman pala talaga kaya. So you can leave it like this. All right. Kasi essentially, hindi nyo rin naman may explicit yan kasi nasa loob ng ln magkasama si x at saka si y. Though ln ng sum, yeah, hindi siya pwedeng paghiwalay. So I guess we can stop here. And let's see. Yeah, I guess we can call it a day at this point. Mag-identify na lang tayo ng isang homework problem. Tawa na ba kayo sa kaka-homework? Ako ay hindi pa kasi nasasayahan ako mag-check ng mga solutions nyo. Ano? So, kaya afford ko na magpabigay pa ng homework. Ano? So, yon. Okay, any questions? Hindi ko nasisimulan yung section 2.8. Let's skip it for next week na lang para hindi tayo masyadong haggard. Ano? So, no questions. So, homework time na tayo? Okay, homework time. I'm not sure about number 3 here. And number 4. Ano kayang method sa 3 and 4? So number 3, kakaroon ako ng tangent. Ang secant ay 1 over cosine. Probably rito ang substitution ko ay something involving tangent. Kaya ka meron naka-ready na secant. So let's try this one. Try to solve one of these. Homework ano na to? 7. Okay. So choose one of from the 5 that you see here, and choose the appropriate substitution. Teka, madaya yung number 1. Tanggalin na natin si number 1 because this is essentially very similar to what we did. I want you to look at or to explore other possibilities. So try to answer isa dun sa 2 to 5. So let's see. So sige, clue. Sa number 2, siguro pwede niyong i-try. Let u be equal to 9x plus 4y plus 1. Alright? Kasi ito ay magiging you can change it to a single variable. Dito ang palitan nyo lang ay x plus y. Dito sa number 4, ano kaya sa number 4? Hindi clear sa akin kung ano kaya yung pwedeng gawin dito. Ano kaya pwede sa number 4? Tangent x sine y. Yeah, hindi ko maisip right away kung ano yung kung ano yung kailangan sa number 4. Pero let's try number 4 pa rin. So if you dare and try to answer number 4, that's also fine. Pag-isipan ko rin ano yung substitution suggested by this equation kasi hindi siya linear, eh, no? 3 tangent x plus cosine x. Pag nag-multiply naman ako ng pagka allergic sa trigo. Pero minsan masaya yung trigo keeper kasi kaya mo silang masaya kasi pag nasi-simplify mo siya after using some identities, ano. Yeah, number 4 is interesting. Either may nami-miss ako na simpleng substitution, I need to manipulate it a little bit. Pinag-isipan ko rito, naka-ready kasi yung secant squared x dx. So malamang yung substitution ko for u merong tangent. Kasi kailangan ko ng derivative ni tangent x ay secant squared x. Baka kaya naka-isolate yung secant squared x dito. Kaya lang, hindi ko maiisip kasi itong 3 tangent x plus 2 cosine ay iba dito sa tangent x sine y. That's interesting. So sige, isama pa rin natin. If you find the solution, that's fine. Pag-isipan ko rin, tapos isasama ko dun sa answer key. And then dito naman madali lang, parang you just let w be equal to u minus v. Ano? So I think that's fine. So and then let's see what will happen if we use these substitutions. So wag na lang yung number 1 kasi yung number 1, it's very similar to what we did earlier. Okay. Ilang examples ba ginawa natin dito? Isa lang or dalawa? I think nakadalawa naman tayo, no? So that's fine. Okay. So when do you want it to be due? Kaya ba ng Thursday? Ng Friday next week? Meron na kayong due ng Wednesday, no? Okay lang. So let's have it due on, or gusto nyo over the weekend na lang to give you probably a couple more days to finish it. Invest na October 14. Reading break na ba ng, talaga? Reading break na ba ng 17? Hindi pa pala 24. Sorry, nagpanic ako. 24 pa pala ang reading break. So if you want, we can have it due October 14 na natin. Anong gusto nyo? 14 or 16? Kaya lang yung 16 ay Sunday. Just to give you a couple more days to work on it. Or para madaling tandaan, Friday na lang din, right before the class. Okay lang ba? Let's schedule it October 14, 9:59 a.m. Okay. I'll post it later in Canvas. Pero yun, if there are no objections, then it would be due on October 14th, 9:59 a.m. You just choose one. But again, I encourage you to answer all if you can, or if you have time during your free time. And anyway, I am uploading my solutions to all the problems. By the way, I already uploaded my solutions to homework 3 and 4. Nandun na siya sa Canvas. So if you already submitted those homeworks, you can access the answer key doon sa Canvas. Okay? So any other questions or concerns? Sorry, overtime na ako ng 6 minutes. Any questions, concerns, reklamo, clarification? So if there are none, guys, so I hope you enjoy solving the homeworks. You have 2 homeworks for this week, one due on Wednesday next week and another on Friday. And despite those homeworks, I hope you still have an enjoyable and restful weekend. And we will see each other again on Wednesday. Okay? Bye, guys.